Come home with me to Wales, to a time before bridges, when the only way in or out was a tunnel to a foreign land, a land called England, a land where trees stood tall and straight in rows, a land we went to once to feed the pigeons, a land of black and white houses with reeds for roofs, where the gardens were full of flowers and tea was always jam and scones. Come home with me to Wales, where once we were Welsh before we knew how it was done or spoke, and hear a nation erupting into song. Come home with me to a Wales I once knew, where our gods with names like Gareth Edwards, Barry John, had a caravan next to ours at Llangenith, where children who learned tap, danced on the tables, played in the dunes, and always watched out for mines. Come home with me to Wales, where the river Taff, black as the sweat of miners, poured its anthracite stain into the Tiger Bay, and every bus had a sign which banned you from spitting. Come home with me now to a Wales I once knew, where men in turbans steered rollicking, rattling trams like dodgems through the sparking city, to Canton and the land of Bute beyond, to Castle Gardens or Pontcanna Fields, where, long ago, I flew my balsa dart and willed it never to come down, to Llandaff with its cathedral, which I thought perhaps was England, or by paddle steamer from Penarth Pier to another pier across the sea-sick sea, where we bought rock and had our photos taken. Trust me now, past the belch and stench of Margam by the sea, where the furnaces light the clouds, and no amount of Vellinvoel ales can quench the belly fires of its men. Come with me now, hand in hand, to Swansea, a theatre on terraced hills, where the sea performs its daily jig, a chorus line, a can-can, wave on wave of flouncing petticoats, twice daily, and no two shows the same. Listen now, and hear as only those with ancient souls can hear, the ravens croaking from their sandstone crag, the high bell loft of Terrace Road School, where, when I was 8, the bells had summoned me to stand in line, call out my name, state my presence in the land. Now they recall a time before the town crept up the wind-torn slopes, before the first salt sails set anchored in its sheltered bay, before its copper fires lit up our eastern hills and charred them with their most unholy smoke, though the choirs sang in the chapels of a green and pleasant land. Fly with them now, out over the town, over Constitution Hill and Walter Road. Leave behind the smell of fish and chips and curry, the worried lawyers crying in their beer, the sandfield guest rooms and the hymning sea, and see before you, as I both see and feel, the outline of the Gower, lazy in its beauty, a familiar lover whose secret places I must find again. Follow me with a child's delight, the subterranean stream, and bubble up bedazzled within an emerald veil, an Eden cloaked in garlic, fern and moss, of kingcup and of lady smock, from St. Tylo and my father's tombs by murmuring Pill down to the Pebble Bay. And there the standing stones, or needles as we knew them, ancient as our dreams, witnesses to lives which ebbed and flowed, new as the tides that daily filled the bay, quarrymen and smugglers, fishermen and toddlers, innkeepers, winkle pickers, starfish gazers, and a submarine that lost its way. Whilst high atop a limestone cliff that gave itself through fire to feed a foreign soil, amongst the ivy and the pigeons, someone has placed an Otis escalator car, a gleaming chariot of brass, mahogany and glass, a lift with vertigo, blind to its potential, without the means to rise or fall, it settles for a lesser dream, a place to grow tomatoes. Drift with me now, as the shadows of the clouds caress our hills, over our sheep-grazed mountains, and discover our Tibetan shepherds, plucked from an ancient time and land, unaware to where they've come, to learn the husbandry of goats, soon to be returned by flight, dropped in by night as we might be by aliens, to bring our newfound wisdom to unbelievers on our planet home. Come home with me now, to our land of postcard castles, our towns and villages from Merthyr to Preseli by way of Bethlehem, the God-forsaken chapels and the tourist trails. Come home with me now, come with me now to Wales, a land scorched by the dragon's tongue, but a land where dragons have we none. Poetry for me is another form of music. It's a emotional form of words that captures a time and feeling, a place, a character, and its form and beauty and sound is what makes it special. It's a way of also conveying political ideas. They don't need to be the main stated obviously, but they can speak more powerfully sometimes in the form of poetry when the listener comes to understand the politics that are being discussed by other means.